Hey everyone, and welcome to Stream and Shop here at Linda's.
We are super excited to have you guys join us today. We have a special guest that we're going to talk to you about and bring on. We are stoked about our special guest. But we've been really enjoying this Stream and Shop season that we've been doing, right? We've had lots of fun. The two we did yesterday were just like top notch. You're gonna make them
top notch.
They were top
period.
notch.
Okay.
Exactly. And you're gonna make them top notch today.
Oh, no pressure. It's fine. Everything's fine. But yes, thank you all so much for being here with us today for our 11 a.m. session. If you are watching us on YouTube, please make sure you are subscribing to the channel so you can stay up to date with everything going on here at Linda's. If you're watching us on Facebook, Instagram, or even on our own website, make sure you are following, liking, and subscribing for our email newsletter so you can stay up to date with everything going on here. Yeah,
we have amazing things that we send out daily, and then all kinds of educational content that is on the YouTube. So you definitely want to be following to have that continued education. Exactly. So let's tell them a little bit about Stream and Shop.
Okay.
And some of the fun prizes that we're doing for this Black Friday.
We've got some good stuff this Black Friday. It's really cool. So to give you a little overview on Stream and Shop, if you are new here to the channel, what we do is we're going to showcase you different products that we have here at Linda's, kind of give you a more of an up close personal interaction with them live, and you can you can ask questions. We will answer. I mean, you could answer each other's questions too. You can ask questions live, and we have our studio audience here today that's going to be giving us those questions, and we can get them answered for you. And it's just a really fun time here. Also, during Stream and Shop, we normally have exclusive discounts. This time, Stream and Shop is over the Black Friday and Cyber Monday weekend, which is giving you 30% off the entire site. Exactly. Say it again, Mom. Say it again for them.
30% off the entire site, the entire store. I mean, come on, people.
You cannot
beat that. So you want to jump over there if you've been waiting on that favorite scissor, hint, hint, that batting that you need, or that fabric that you've just been eyeing. This is the time. Jump over there and grab that. Besides the 30% off the entire store, we have some amazing gifts that we're giving away, some prizes that are going to be thrown in your packages. Why don't you tell them a little bit about the first set?
Definitely. You can scan the QR code that is on your screen right now to head over to our website, and you can watch us live there, no matter what page of the website you are on.
Well, yeah, so while you're shopping.
Definitely.
Anyway, so let's tell them a little bit about the first set of prizes.
Okay, so what's going to happen is every $50 that you spend here at Linda's, you are going to get a random door prize, okay? And the more that you spend, the more prizes that you get. Each cheer is a little bit different. On your screen right now is kind of an overview of what those fun door prizes are.
Exactly.
Starting at that 50+ mark. Another great thing that's going on here. So not only is everyone getting the 50+.
There's more.
That's what I was getting there, madam.
I had to say my part.
Okay, all right. She's got her line.
Yeah.
But wait, there's more. Okay, so every $50 that you spend, you also get an entry into our giveaway that's happening.
Right.
Okay. So if you spend $50, that's one entry. You spend $100, 2 entries, $200, 4 entries. You can keep going.
I know.
You can go on. I can do math quickly. You sent me to college. I can do it. I'm good to go. And we have some of those amazing prizes are on the screen right now. So we'll be drawing this later on when you get the drawing. And the grand prize is going to be a Tula Pink M3 Mini Pro Iron.
So cool.
Super cool. Yeah. Along with a Quilter Select ruler, a Famoré rotary cutter, which we're going to talk way more about today, which is fun.
We are.
And the new 14x14 Quilter Select wool and cutting mat that's reversible.
Like my new favorite mat.
Super duper cool.
See today as well again.
Second place is going to be a full roll. Again, I'm gonna say it every day. A full roll, 96 inches wide by 30 yards of Hobbs 80/20 batting.
Exactly. You can't beat that, right?
Shipped. You don't even have to pick it up. I mean, if you're local, we'd like for you to pick it up. But
let's put that one out there.
Third place is going to be a full set of the KISS system, which we are going to talk about Monday at 3 p.m. for Stream and Shop. So make sure you're here for that. And a package of the fusible batting that goes great with that system. Fourth place is going to be a Tuscany cotton wool package and the new Linda's batting scissors that we're going to get into today as well. And then fifth place is going to be a Moda charm pack and mini charm pack along with 6 spools of Aurifil 50 weight.
Exactly. So for our next slide, we definitely want to make sure we thank all of our sponsors.
Yes, we definitely want to thank Aliso, Famoré, Pauline's Quilters World, Hobbs, Quilter Select, and Moda for these amazing prizes.
Exactly. We could look out there.
We did that. We did that.
And that wasn't even planned, folks. All right. So now that you have all the specs on Stream and Shop and the amazing things that you can win.
We have to thank the sponsors with fireworks.
Oh, I forgot. Corey and his little tools here.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Or should we do lasers today?
No.
Fireworks.
You choose.
Oh, we're going to do lasers. Okay.
Lasers?
Thank you.
Whoa, that's kind of, yeah, that might strobe effect. Probably should have warned people on that one.
So those are also, we're going to hit you with some hearts. Thank you all so much. Thank you everyone for watching right now. We really, really appreciate it.
We do. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay, so that is kind of the overview of what's going on here at Stream and Shop. Mom, what is next on the agenda?
We have the 11 o'clock Stream and Shop now, which is with our special guest that I'm going to tell you about. But don't forget, we also have a 3 o'clock one coming up at 3 with some also fun stuff. We're going to actually take you around the store, let you see all the fabric. Tracy's going to join Corey, get to do all those things with him on there. But okay, now drum roll. All right. Okay, so let me see if I can get through this without being a little bit emotional. Although Corey might get emotional for me because it just happens, right? Hey, it's not that much.
No, it's good.
So I met our next guest. My first memory was back at MQS, which is not even around anymore. It was called Machine Quilter Showcase. It was in Springfield, Illinois. So it was at this hotel. It was at a convention center. And this was the first time I met this guest. And he just brought so much energy. His energy was so infectious. Like I didn't even know people like that existed, right? He was just always happy, smiley. We're at a show. We're setting all this stuff up. I'm exhausted. And he didn't matter. He could just bring a smile when he walked by you. I'm trying not to get emotional.
You got this. You're doing great. Keep it up.
And then I learned that his love for this craft was just priceless, right? Over the years that I've known him, over 20-something years plus that I've known him, he has just, he has brought so much love into this industry. And so that's why I'm so excited for you to get to know him if you haven't met him yet today. And ever since then, we've been really good friends, and we've collaborated just as friends with family, but also in the business, you know, in the craft industry. Like, how can we do things to make things better in the craft that he makes? Now that you will know him as a scissor man, if you've been at any of the shows in the past years, for a lot of years, you will have seen him walked around with an apron. He'll have all these sharp things on him.
All the pins from the different shows.
All the pins from the different shows. And you can hear him coming because he's clanging a little bit with all that stuff. But that just shows, he just is so proud of all the things that he made and has created. And he should be, because they're amazing products. Some of the things, some of my fondest memories of him, though, is I would be at the Houston show. You know, a market and festival it can be a total of 12 to 13 days if you're doing the whole thing from setup to breakdown. And he would just come to the booth. He would see that I was exhausted mentally, physically, and he would just come, give me a hug, give me a kiss on the cheek when he would walk by, and just tell me, you got this, right? And those were the days, that's what helped get me through most of those times. And I just wanted to make sure I shouted that out publicly. He knows that personally, but publicly, that he knows that how much he has meant to me in this industry. His knowledge, his understanding of the craft, and his love for it. And I just love being able to have him here today. So I definitely had to make sure I brought all that up.
Fantastic.
So without further ado, we are going to bring Brent. Come on over.
Alrighty, come on in. It's the rite of passage to come underneath the podcast table. Oh gosh, now they're crying. Now I'm going to cry.
Because we just have two mics here. I'm going to hand this over, and I'm going to let Corey take over this with Brent, and they're just going to show you all the amazing stuff. He's going to tell you about everything sharp and the quality and the things behind it and the work that he has put into over all these years to make sure he can bring a quality product to the industry. All righty. So I'm going to clip you. I'm gonna crawl.
Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Hi, Brent.
Hey, Corey.
How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good.
You know, before I start, I just want to say thank you, Diana, for an incredible introduction. What fuels me is the absolute passion, number one, that our consumers have for what they do. But the amount of work that you put into making sure that your consumers have everything that they need to succeed. And I need a tissue if you don't mind.
I gotcha.
That have everything that they need to succeed. And your passion to make sure that that happens is what fuels me and what gets me out of bed. You know, you were one of my very first customers I ever had. And we'll go into that with the batting shear and how it solves problems. But what's so exciting to be able to work with, you know, Linda's and your team is solving problems. And that's what we do best, is we solve problems.
We do.
So yeah, let's talk about that.
I was going to say, how does it feel? This is a full circle moment. When you first met me, I was a little tight.
Holy cow.
And now you're on my show.
So what you, yeah, so I will never forget, we were at Quilt Market, and here comes this little kid, right? I mean, little bow tie, and absolutely adorable. And when I found out it was Diana's son,
Yeah.
I went over and I'm like, oh my God, you know, and now,
Yeah.
you know, I've watched you grow up since you were, I mean, literally knee high. And I didn't realize how tall you were until I watched the video that we did at Houston. And I'm like, I feel like, you know, but it's been amazing to watch you grow up. It's been amazing to watch you flourish in this creative world that we're in, and how important that creativity is today for just not a person's craft, but for a person's health, mental health.
Yeah.
And you have played such a magnificent role in this industry, and being a part of it and being able to be a part of it today. Pretty exciting.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So let's talk all things sharp with the scissor man himself. Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to go overhead, and I want you to kind of talk us through our new batting scissors. Can we do that? That sounds good. All right. So can we start with the legacy model?
Absolutely.
And then we can kind of go from there.
Linda Taylor came up to me one year and she was like, we need something that cuts batting without snagging. And I'm like, okay, let's talk about this. And so the first thing, when we kind of got this design, well, it was the tip design. I was like, we'll just round the tips. That's simple. Well, rounding the tips wasn't the solution, because even though if this part's rounded right here, can you see that?
There you go.
Even if this part's right, so that tip right there can snag that batting, and we'll show you that here in a minute. It can snag that batting and cause it to snag and rip. So we went back to the drawing board, and the one thing I wanted was this high arch.
Move this real quick for us. There we go.
I wanted that high arch so that bottom blade never comes off the table, right? So it stays flat. And I was sharpening a pair of scissors, and one of the things that I feel has made me an exceptional scissor maker is the fact that I service every brand of scissor that's on the market. People will bring me every scissor there is. And I was working on this old Italian made scissor that had this arch in it. That was just a fabric shear. And I just fell in love with it, and I'd never seen it before.
Yeah.
And I asked the lady when she came back to pick it up, I said, you know, I love the scissor. I says, I want to remake this scissor. I said, will you sell this to me? And she was like, or I said, how much do you like the scissor? And she goes, why? And I'm like, I'd like to take it. And I told her, and she goes, well, I really love it now. Anyway, so I ended up buying the scissor from her, and I did my research, and I found where the mold was made, and where the factory was, and it was in China. And the lady that had designed the scissor had passed away, and the mold was broke.
Okay.
And so I was going to buy the mold, ship the mold over to the States, get the mold repaired, but it was going to be like almost 700. I mean, it was a ridiculous amount of money. And when I asked the factory why they weren't going to repair the mold, they were quite excited that she was no longer producing the scissor, because it was such a difficult scissor to produce. And I'm like, it can't be that difficult. Well, yeah, the batting shear is one of the most difficult scissors we've ever produced. So I got this arch up here, and this ball, this knob at the top, so this is dull, right? There's not an edge on here. This is what actually allows that to just glide through your fabric without snagging it. And when Linda tested it herself, she said it was brilliant. And she said, this is exactly what we need. And we are the only manufacturer that's produced this thing for many years. It's over 20 years that the batting shears been around.
That's amazing.
But yeah, but it's a fully forged scissor, and I've never been 100% satisfied with the end result. I knew that it could be better, right?
Okay.
And one of the things is its weight. How do we lighten this thing up? So over the years, and also the handle, there's a seam in this handle that I've never really been fond of.
Okay. Yeah.
People have, have made comments about. So I wanted to make a seamless injection handle and a nice balanced lightweight shear that just not only cuts batting, but will cut any fabric.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So one of the things I did is I reduced the thickness of the steel. So you can see how thick that is here. And if you look at that cutting edge, let's take a look at the cutting edge on this scissor. You can see how thick it is, right? Can you see that?
Like that. Yeah, there you go.
As opposed to the new Linda's by Famoré, it is super thin.
Oh.
So this thing will glide through anything.
Yeah.
So it's just not a batting shear. So use it. Thank you, sir. Use this for all your fabric cutting. So can we cut this?
Of course we can.
All right. So what I want to do is I just want to show you a single layer.
Okay.
Now your silks. So one thing I like about it is so you can do that, or
Ooh. Okay, let's pull that this way a little bit so you can get enough to see that. Oh, we're just going to keep going. All right. Let's do that one more time.
So that's one layer. So let's do 2 layers.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to do 2 layers.
Got it.
Let's do 4 layers.
Oh, okay. We're going to do 4. This wasn't part of the script, folks. Everything's fine.
You know what, Corey?
He's going to do 8,
Let's
isn't
do
he?
8.
Yep. All right.
Come on. I mean,
knew
you
that
know
was
what?
gonna
Go big or
happen.
go home,
Yeah,
right?
I knew that was going to happen.
So we're just going to, we've got 8 layers of fabric here.
Okay.
And
let's move you up this way. There we go. Oh my gosh. Just glides right through it.
That was 8 layers. I dare you to find any scissor on the market right now that will do 8 layers of fabric like that.
Wow.
And that's 100% cotton.
Right. So explain to me kind of the difference. You talked about these being more of that hollow edge, that lighter edge. How did the seam injection, all that, how did this all come about to create this wonderful new revamped one?
So listening to the consumer.
Yeah.
Right. The balance, it being a lighter weight. So this is 3 ounces lighter than this one.
Okay.
Right. So just that weight difference, right? And the balancing part of it. Even though we got this to be as balanced as possible, this one is so much more balanced.
Yeah.
This one is so much more balanced in the hand. We did use a hollow grind on the inside of the blade, so the belly of that scissor is a hollow grind, so it's a very smooth action. But with your batting, and folks, if you've ever cut batting at home,
you can use that one.
Is this the new batting?
Oh, yes, that is the new one.
Oh.
You can cut it real quick and then we'll talk about it.
This is the new batting.
We will talk about it in just a second.
So if you've ever cut batting, and Linda Taylor came up to me and she says, have you ever cut batting with a pair of scissors? And I'm like, no. And she's like, the tips always snag that batting.
Oh, wait, hold on. We can't see you. Let's go right here. There you go.
So those tips always snag that batting.
Yeah.
Whereas opposed to the batting shear, I don't care what you're cutting. Those tips will never snag on any fabric you've got. It'll glide through without snagging.
Just like that.
Just like that.
So I have a question here on the YouTube. On the YouTube. Can we talk about, are these good for left and right-handed?
So there's no such thing as an ambidextrous scissor.
Really?
Scissors are either made right-handed or they're made left-handed.
Okay.
And I'll I'll explain this to you really simple. What makes a scissor a left-handed scissor or right-handed scissor? A lot of people think that it has to do with the handle.
Okay.
No, it's the blade position. A left-handed scissor, the blades are mirrored to a right-handed.
Right.
Now, think about this, Corey. All scissors, the top handle controls that bottom blade.
Correct.
The bottom handle controls the top blade.
Right.
So how do I know if this is a right-handed or a left-handed scissor? When you open the scissor up, if the right blade or if the inside blade
Okay.
comes up, it's a right-handed scissor,
Okay.
no matter how you turn it.
Oh, I see. Okay.
If the outside blade or the left blade comes up, then it's a left-handed scissor.
Okay.
Now, with that said, quilting more important than sewing. Why? Some of these quilt patterns are so mathematically precise. If you're off just a fraction of an inch,
Right.
your entire pattern can be
Right. This can be messed up.
So when I put my hand in the scissor, I'm naturally applying pressure with that thumb for this blade
Uh-huh.
to go that way, and I'm applying pressure with these fingers for this top blade to go that way. So I'm naturally forcing those two blades to meet.
Right.
But if I put this in my left hand, now what I'm doing is I'm bowing the blades, and all it's going to do is it's going to fold the fabric.
Gotcha.
So if I'm a left-handed person using a right-handed scissor, I have to learn to apply the pressure on these handles to get it to cut. And it hurts.
Yeah.
And it hurts. So right-handed people measure from right to left.
Okay.
Left-handed people measure from right-handed people measure from left to right.
Correct.
Left-handed people measure from right to left.
Right.
Quilter Select,
Mm-hmm.
which you're a proud retailer. Quilter Select makes an incredible cutting mat and their cutting rulers because they have measurements for both left and right.
Correct.
Alex Anderson's left-handed.
Yeah.
And so when I'm a right-handed person cutting on my fabric, and if this is my cut line, I'm cutting on the right side of that line. If I'm left-handed using a true left-handed scissor, I'm cutting on the left side of that cutting line. Now, if I'm left-handed using a right-handed scissor, now I have to hold my hand like this to be able to see that cutting line to be able to cut on that.
Gotcha.
So yes, so no. These
Yes,
are
so
a
no.
right-handed scissor. If
Okay.
you're used to using a right-handed scissor, can you use them with your left hand? Yes. Is it going to be comfortable? Probably not.
Yeah.
So I hope that answers the question.
No, 100%. Totally, it does. I have another question here on Facebook from Glenna. She asked, I have 3 pairs of batting shears, and do I need to replace them? How often should I sharpen them when I'm using them just every day on batting?
So if you have the traditional Linda Taylor batting shears, you don't have to replace them. If you're looking for something, if you're wanting an upgrade, you definitely. But you know, they can send them back to us, and we'll sharpen them for as long as they own.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk with the people. Talk to them about the Famoré cutting service that is available, because I think that's something that sets you apart. So let's chat about that.
When developing Famoré, I wanted to develop the highest quality product at the most affordable price with exceptional customer service. That's not always easy, as you well know.
Yes, I know.
Right? But my team has built our infrastructure that's allowed me to maintain that vision. And any of the Famoré products that we produce come with a lifetime sharpening service or reconditioning service. So if you drop them, if you nick them, I mean, nothing stays sharp forever.
Right.
You can ask my ex-wife; she'll tell you that. But
Zinger.
But so yeah, so if you've got an older pair of Linda Taylor's batting shears and you know you need them to be serviced, reach out to Linda's. They'll get you all of our information. You can send them directly to us. We'll sharpen them. We'll clean them up, and we'll get them to be like new. But if you're looking for the ultimate all-purpose fabric batting crafting shear, this is definitely the one you want to have.
This is the one. Okay, love that. So I'm going to pop up a little QR code right now. This is where you can shop again, lindus.com. Everything on our website right now is 30% off for the Black Friday weekend. So I want to take a look overhead. I want to look at the different colors of the handles that we have. So we've got these right here for us. And this is going to be the blue purpley pair, and then we have a pink colored pair as well. So 2 different options available on the website. Again, lindus.com. You can scan that QR code on the right, and that will take you directly to our website. What you got next?
I don't know. Let's see here. I mean, let's just see how easy.
Look at that. That's right through it.
Look at that.
Like nothing.
It's like a hot knife through butter, baby.
How many layers of batting is that?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8.
And that was no effort.
Not at all. That just glided right through it.
This batting.
Let's talk about it.
What is this?
Okay, we're going to talk about it.
It feels really good.
Thank you. So we have been working on a new batting here at Linda's. So this is called the Linda's Deluxe Cotton Poly Blend.
This is the
This is
new batting?
This is the new
that
batting
we've been chopping
that
up?
you've been chopping up. You've just chopped up my new stuff. It's fine. Everything's great. This batting is absolutely amazing. We've been working really, really close with Hobbs to develop this exclusively for us. It is, again, that cotton poly blend, and it has exceptional loft. Absolutely stunning. Brent's just going to keep slicing it up like it's nothing. And it is available on our website right now for pre-order. It'll be shipping at the end of January 2025. And it's just nice and cuddly. This is going to be on a full roll. 96 inches wide, 30 yards.
It's so soft.
It's nice. It's really, it's cuddly.
It is.
Super duper sweet. And it is on sale right now for the Black Friday weekend, even though it's a brand new product.
Marissa, if you're watching, order some, you need it.
So this is absolutely amazing. And it is, again, new. We quilted on it yesterday. If you were available on our stream and shop yesterday, we did do that quilting with the designs with lines. I know you saw it.
Yes.
You were commenting. And you can just see here, we actually did quilt with it. And we'll hop overhead and take a look. Still have some chalk marks because we didn't iron everything off, but that's okay. But it's harder to see on camera, but Brent, take a look at this. You can see the dimension of the quilting with the nice loft that's available with this Deluxe Cotton Poly. It just gives your quilt a completely different look.
It almost looks like a little bit of trapunto. Is that what they call it?
Yeah, good job. Look at you. Been around. But again, it is available right now on our website on sale for pre-order. We'll be shipping at late January.
You know,
so we're going to take a look at it one more time overhead while you're talking. Sorry.
Just
look at that.
The one thing.
Look at that loft. You don't get this with
Well,
other
and,
stuff.
you know, loft in golf is a little different than a loft in quilting.
I know.
But loft is loft.
Mom's showing me something, folks.
Why we developed it?
Why did we develop it, Mom? I'd like you to come talk about it. Come back.
What was the innovation? I mean, we all have a story, but I mean, this obviously solved a problem, right?
She's coming back to the rite of passage.
Hello again. So, you know, over the years, I mean, we've been in the industry forever, right? It feels like forever.
I had black hair.
But over, probably the last 10 years, to be honest, we had customers that really love all the batting we carried. They love the Hobbs brand, but they were just looking for something a little bit different. They wanted something to have a little bit more loft, where it went from you really wanted poofy, you really wanted thin. Now we're at that we really want a little bit more loft with it. So we took some time and developed this with Hobbs so that way we could bring you a product that still gave you that same 80-20 quality, which is the most popular batting out there, but was able to make it thicker and loftier for you so that way you could get that extra little loft so you don't have to use 2 layers of batting if you don't want to. So it's definitely more cost effective when it comes to that aspect because you're not having to use those 2 layers of batting to get that extra loft. So that was the biggest thing, is just to give it just a little bit more loft for that quilting to show. And so we wanted to bring something to the market that you guys have been asking for a while, and here it is.
Yay.
So like he was saying, it's on pre-order. It's going to ship at the end of January. It's on the front page of the website right now. But you just go check it out. You can get it on sale. It'll ship in January. We're super excited to have that. We wanted to introduce it while we were going over the batting shears because they're a perfect pair. So order you some batting shears. You're just going to love it. Right?
Fun.
That's what you need.
That's what you need.
All righty, I'm
Thank
gonna let
you
you
so
guys
much.
take it back to your show.
Back to the rite of passage.
Yep.
We did have a question on Facebook. Do you quilt with a single layer of batting? Depends on what I'm working on. Sometimes for my customer quilts, it's just going to be one layer of batting. If I'm looking for that extra loft or that extra dimension, I'll use this wonderful new Deluxe cotton poly because I have advanced copies of it. Or I'll use a double layer of an 80/20. When I do show quilting, I'll have a layer of cotton wool on the bottom and wool on top. So it just kind of depends on what the quilt's calling for.
Here's
that
a
day.
stupid question.
Okay.
And I know that there's really no stupid questions, but is there ever a time when you would put like a double piece, like if you wanted this side of the to be a single layer batting and this side to be a double layer batting, would you ever cut a piece where it was tiered?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So certain sections of a quilt, maybe if you're working on applique or if you want a certain section to be trapuntoed, you can go in, and we do have a video on our YouTube channel showing you how to do that. You can go in and create the size that you need, cut it out first, and then you can stick it under the quilt. Use a basting stitch to hold it in place, and then you can quilt around that, and that's going to give that extra poof where this one will be more of a flatter look to call out that piece that you're wanting to show.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Fun. You know,
Oh, wait, we have a question.
Yeah, so I just want to clarify the question about the batting. I think she wanted to know if that sample that you're showing has one layer or two.
Oh, quite okay. So the sample that we were showing, this has one layer in it. There's not two on this one. This is just one layer of that Deluxe cotton poly. So it gives it that beautiful look. So maybe that wasn't my original answer to the question, but there you go. You got two answers to the question.
Corey, I do want to show you something really quick.
Okay.
So whenever you're trimming your quilts, right after you've done these batting shears are amazing. And would it be okay just to trim this side?
Of course.
Yeah. So we're gonna take and so.
Holy smokes. That's amazing.
That, my friend, is your batting shear.
That's awesome.
That and again, it's just the tools to do the job and making sure that those tools are comparable to the brand.
Right.
And knowing how important this brand is allowed me to make the scissor to
perfection for us.
Yeah.
Thank you, because I take a lot of pride in this brand. Okay, so this was the batting scissor, again, available on our website, lindas.com. Let's talk hook and snip.
hook and snip.
I'm very proud of this one.
Yeah, and so glad to have it back.
So I have one more question from Tracy before we get going.
Glenna wants to know, when we order the batting, will we still get free shipping even though it ships in January?
Very good question, Glenna. So she asked if we order the batting now for pre-order, are you still getting free shipping even though it ships in January? That's the benefit of ordering it right now, folks. You still get the free shipping. After January, maybe not. So you need to do it now. Hop over to the website, lindas.com. But yes, you do get that free shipping right now. Okay, let's go overhead. Let's talk hook and snip. Can we talk the history of this? Because this is not my invention. I helped revamp it and redevelop a little bit of it, but this original thing was not my original concept.
Right.
So I want to give credit where credit is due. This was not my original concept. I've just enhanced it.
So let's go back in time,
Yes.
Diana. So yes, so this was another great innovation from Linda V. Taylor and Todd, her son-in-law. So Todd and Linda and Diana came up to me one year, and it's called that
Hopping foot?
hopping foot.
Yes.
Yeah. That I don't know the terminology. I just they educate me on it, and I go to the factory and figure out what it needs to do. Anyway, so we always made a spring snip like this, but it didn't have this additional nose to it, right? And when Todd was explaining to me what he was needing, I'm like, what if we just took this split and made it longer than here? And he goes, that would be amazing.
Right.
And basically what it is, it's a suture scissor, right? What a doctor would remove stitches with.
Right.
We just modified it to make it more, and also having this on top as opposed to this here. So now this you can use left-handed or right-handed because you're not putting your fingers in anything, right? So this doesn't identify if you're right-handed or left-handed at all.
Oh, cool.
So you can use it left-handed or right-handed.
Okay.
But so we came out with the catch and cut, and that's what we called it back then, was Todd's Catch and Cut, and went out of production after Todd left the industry. Had many people wanting to bring it back,
Right.
but because this was a Linda's family's design, we kept it proprietary to Linda's. And then when you wanted to bring it back because you saw that it really served a need,
100%.
I was very excited, and obviously so were the consumers.
Yes. So I'm super duper excited about this.
100% handmade.
Really?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's
There's
awesome.
not a machine that makes this.
That's cool. So I was really excited when we were able to bring this back. The tip of this is actually a hair longer, and the curve in it we asked to be a little bit bigger to get in underneath both the sewing machine hopping foot and the traditional long arm hopping foot as well. You have your snip here, and then it is paired with a tweezer, a really long tip tweezer that I've used for multiple different things. I like to use it a lot for paper piecing.
That
Brent's gonna.
Yeah, we need to fix. Have you dropped this?
Probably.
But again, anything that we produce, if you drop these, if they just end up going dull, you can send them back to us. We can condition them, resurface them for as long as we can. That.
Oh, you took it apart. Oh, there you go. The benefit of knowing that's handmade. Another question has come in from Facebook. This is probably going to be more of a me question that I can get answered. So let's see what that is real fast. It says, do we need to purchase the pre-order by itself, or if we have other stuff in our cart? I would. You said what, Mom?
If they can do it separate, it's easier.
Okay, if you can separate them, it is easier. If not, it's not a big deal. We can separate them on this side. Not a big deal at all, one bit. Thank you for that. Brent, oh, we've got a good one here. Brent, can you tell us about the new rotary blade?
Yes.
Okay, that's the next
blade
thing we
or
were
the
gonna...
handle?
Oh, we can talk about both.
Okay.
Yeah, we can talk about both. This is the next thing we were going to hop into anyway.
Awesome.
So, all right. So we will set the hook and snip. These are available on our website, lindas.com. So super excited about that. We've got this. I'll get you a cutting mat.
There's a question about can we order from this live? So maybe just a quick recap.
Oh, yeah, good question. So you can order from this live. Every now and then I've been popping up the QR code that is available. You can click or scan that. If not, you can hop over to lindas.com and you can still be placing your orders. I think so. I can go higher.
You know, Diana, I mean, the young man, don't you talk to me that way.
So you can definitely do that. Mom, can you grab us a cutting mat? I think it's, no, it's not behind me. I think it disappeared. It might be over there. We've got it. Okay, let's talk rotary blades.
So I first came out with the rotary blades before I came out with the rotary handle, and I wasn't going to come out with a rotary handle because the rotary, you know, our industry needed another rotary handle like we needed another thread line.
Exactly.
I mean, my goodness, how many different thread lines can can you have? That'll work.
Yeah, we have both of them.
Yeah. So going really quick, I just wanted to show you. So the right-handed, left-handed, right?
Oh, yes.
So here is your right-handed measurement. Here's your left-handed measurement. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to 13 here. And then it goes backwards to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that left-handed, right-handed cutting mat, which is by Quilters Select. Great,
Yes,
great company, great quality.
Let's flip this around. There we go.
But so I created a rotary blade, and I was commissioned to find a rotary blade for a very famous entity in our industry because the ones that they were getting weren't cutting it, and that they were having issues.
Okay.
They were having issues with the blade. So I knew that a very famous brand had a overflow manufacturer. Finding that was like a needle in a haystack.
Okay.
So I was doing my travelings and I searched and searched and searched, and I found that needle.
Okay.
And it was pretty amazing. And then he said, "Well, what about your own brand?" And I said, there's no reason for me to come out with a rotary blade. I said, what these other guys spend in marketing in a week is what we make in a year, right? I said, unless we could do something completely different. And he goes, well, what's that? And I says, I don't know, tungsten carbide.
Okay.
Now, tungsten carbide's 5 times harder than stainless steel and 4 times harder than titanium. The only thing harder than tungsten carbide is a diamond.
Wow.
And he goes, ooh, he goes, expensive. And I said, but sharp.
Yeah.
And it's the only rotary blade that'll cut Kevlar, which is the material that's made with bulletproof vests. And we've got the aerospace engineering firms buying it from us for the insulation that they put on the outside of the payload rocket ships. I've got the government buying them for drones and stuff like that because it doesn't leave any fibers behind. It is an amazing blade, but it is expensive.
Right.
So when I started looking at the manufacturing of rotary blades, you ever notice, let me see if this one here has, yes. So you ever notice those little notches in the blade?
Uh-huh.
You ever wondered what those were for?
I've always wondered what they're for, but I never looked into it.
Yeah. Those notches have not been needed in decades. There's only one application where those notches are important. The very first rotary blade handle that was ever produced didn't rotate.
Okay.
So why were there the numbering systems on the rotary blade? So the very first rotary blade you would put to 1 or 0, right? And you would just drag it through your fabric.
Oh.
When it would quit cutting, you would unscrew it, advance it to the next number, and then used it and kept advancing and advancing until you got back to 12, or I think 12 was the...
I don't know which one that one was.
Yeah, 12.
Yeah.
And then once you got to 12, you'd replace it.
Oh.
So the amount of force
that
it takes to punch that notch system out is incredible.
Okay.
So I'm standing on the production line and I see this person doing this and throwing these blades in a box. And I'm like, what's going on here? Warped blades. Warped blades. Now, if you look at if you look at any of the competitors' reviews, you'll see people will give them a 1-star review because they got one that didn't cut. Well, it happens occasionally, but the biggest reason is because the blades are too warped.
Okay.
So I'm like, if it was just a single hole, it would put less force on there. Wouldn't you have less warpage? So we created a die very quickly, and we went from 1 in 100 to over 1 in 1,000.
Wow, that were warped? Wow.
That wouldn't.
Right. Yeah.
So just by doing that circle, now you're starting to see a lot of rotary blades coming out now that just have that circle in it. But we were really one of the first ones to come out with that. But also in the manufacturing process, heat treatment is one of the most important parts of retaining the longevity, a proper heat treatment process. So I was like, what if we double heat treated our rotary blades? Huh?
Yeah, that's my exact reaction, huh?
So once the rotary blade is in the grinding position, it creates heat.
Okay.
All right. So anytime you create heat, you lose a little bit of hardness, HRC, Rockwell hardness. So we do the grinding process, we do the polishing process, we do the grinding process, then it goes through the heat treatment, then it comes back, then it goes through the final grinding, final polishing, edging, and then packing.
Wow.
So
it's a process.
But doing all those processes, you lose a little bit of the strength, you lose a little bit of the Rockwell. So I said, what if we did a double heat treatment where we do the initial grinding and we do the initial polishing, send it back to the heat treatment. After it comes back, we do a final polishing, final edging, final honing. So what we lost in the first process, we regained in the second process. So the Famoré rotary blade will stay sharper longer because we do have that double heat treatment process.
Huh. That's cool.
Yeah.
You're such a smart guy.
No, it's just understanding the manufacturing process, right?
Right.
And then taking that and just adapting it. I mean, look, your quilting techniques, right? I mean, your quilting techniques are what you've learned from others and from just doing it.
Correct.
And finding ways of doing it better.
Yeah, adapting it to work
Adapting
for my
it,
skills.
absolutely.
Yeah, I love that.
But so rotary blades were doing really, really well. And then I kept hearing people saying, well, I can't use a rotary cutter. What do you mean you can't use a rotary cutter? I don't have the strength in my wrist or in my elbows or in my shoulders, or I just don't have the strength. And I kept hearing this, and it was just like, there's got to be. So I started really taking a deep dive in into the rotary blade. And you know what? It's been so long.
Set that to the side. It's all good.
Well, but I want to show people.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, yeah,
I
we can
want
put
to
that
show
back together.
people what makes ours different. So, all right, what makes a rotary blade rotate on the handle?
Oh, I don't know. I was reading someone's comment about you. They said Brent must be the most knowledgeable person in the industry.
On scissors. I appreciate that, but you know what? I get everything from people like you, from your mom, from Linda V. Taylor, from the passionate consumers that absolutely love what they do. And I'm not putting this on properly. It's been so long since I put one of the competitors' blades together. See, I know it goes like this. This goes like this.
This is another benefit of the Famoré rotary handle. There's less of this.
Yeah, there's none of this, right?
Yeah.
And this is part of the problem that people were having. Okay, I got it.
There you go.
Yay! So how do we eliminate this problem? How do we help the consumer with the problem of not being able to use a rotary handle? So I kept hearing this, and I'm like, what do you mean you can't use? So what makes the blade rotate on the handle? It's the amount of pressure that you have to put down to get it to roll. And if you're not putting enough pressure,
right,
it's just going to drag.
Correct.
Right? So how do you eliminate that? It was an instantaneous thought in my brain, and that was a ball bearing system. So you can see this doesn't rotate, right? That's not rotating.
Just moves, just glides.
So what we did is we put a ball bearing system in the head of this, right? So what makes that blade rotate isn't pressure, it's those ball bearings. So no matter what, so now you use less pressure. Oh, and by the way, there's no washers.
Just one screw.
Just one screw. So you put the blade on. Now you do have to tighten this one just a little bit more than you would a regular rotary cutter, because it doesn't have that washer system in it, and you just don't want that blade to come loose. So just tighten it a little bit more than regular. But now it glides like
It's incredible.
So, but Corey, you're not having to press as hard,
right,
to get it to cut. So that means you're not using as much pressure. So your blade's going to last longer, and you're not damaging your cutting mat as much.
Right.
So your cutting mat's going to last longer.
Right.
I was at a show, and I had a lady come up to me with her daughter, and she said, I was going to order one of these. She says, I've been seeing it online. She says, I knew you were coming to the show. She said, so I wanted to try it. She said, I've got my first great-grandchild, and she says, and I can't finish her baby quilt. She said, I've used every handle, and her daughter said, literally every handle that's been produced. So I had some cotton muslin. She used it, and she cut through it, and she was like, I'll take it. And I'm like, no. I said, let's make sure that this is going to work for you. Not only did she buy one, her daughter ended up ordering one, and her daughter's quilt guild ended up ordering them. The stories that people have said, I had an educator call me up in tears. It changed her career, because using a rotary cutter was literally causing so much pain. She was thinking about that she was going to have to leave the industry.
I have a really good friend of mine that has arthritis, and she said this saved her from what she wants to continue and getting more and more into it now because it's not hurting her to actually quilt and sew in peace, and it changed her life. So.
This journey has been amazing.
Yeah,
it has been amazing. That, but I mean, just to show, you know, how easy. Now you do want to hold it with, you know, one finger here and just. I mean, but let's really put it to the test here.
Oh gosh, how many layers are you going?
I have no idea.
Oh gosh,
do you have a ruler?
Yeah, we can get one. I got my quilter select one.
How many layers do you normally cut at home, folks? You know, depending on, you know, if you're an educator doing quilt kits, you know, some of them are really cutting 8, 10, 12 layers at a time. If they're getting ready for a show or a retreat. So we've got 2, 4, 8, 16, 32.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Now this is a 45 millimeter. Make sure that this is going to, no, we're going to need the 60. So we're going to go to 16.
Okay.
But 16 with ease.
Oh my gosh. I don't think I've ever tried to cut 16 layers.
Really?
No.
This is high.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm, you know.
Well, I can lower it.
No,
for
it's
you.
okay.
I've got,
it's good.
I've got options.
I'm a professional.
There you go.
But anyway, so yeah, but the really unique thing about this is not just the handle, is that blade as well.
Yeah.
It's a Famoré blade.
Yeah. The one with your double heat process
Right.
and all the other good stuff.
And what do you do, Corey, with all your rotary blades when they go dull, or if you've nicked them, or if you drop them by accident? What do you do with them?
I don't want to tell you because you'll probably be upset with me.
Throw them away.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, a lot of people just don't know what to do with them, and that's what they do. And
Yeah.
they feel guilty about doing it.
Right.
The really cool thing of it is every one of the containers that our blades come in, on the back of that container has a sticker that says, retain this container for future sharpening services. We are the very first rotary blade manufacturer that offers a professional sharpening service.
Resharpen it, yeah.
And if you're using the stripology rulers, I can get about 4 sharpenings, 3 sharpenings, depending on how bad that nick is, before you have to replace them.
Yeah.
And it's not a gimmick piece of equipment. This is a professional sharpening service that we provide. And we can sharpen any blades. We do charge a little extra for it. But for the Famoré brand, if we get the blades on a Monday, you'll get them back. We get them in the mail on that Tuesday. So, you know, using the stripology, you know, it gets right up into those.
That's one thing I really like about this handle is paired from the traditional trigger style. This one you can have a little bit of a higher angle, so you're working really nicely into those stripology rulers and all sorts of other different rulers as well.
Does everybody know?
No.
No?
No.
So Corey and I have been working really close together. And Linda's is actually going to be the exclusive distributor very soon on a lot of the Famoré products to the consumers. But we are coming out with a trigger style 45 and a trigger style 60. We do have the 60 millimeter of this one and the 28 millimeter of this one. But we did something, Corey, I don't think you know.
Okay.
So
this is great. All right.
We made the extension of the blade just a little bit more than the ones on the current market for this purpose and this purpose only, for the stripology rulers.
Oh.
So that blade is going to extend perfectly
to fit into those rulers as well.
Right, because not everybody can use this kind of rotary handle, and we know that, right? That's why these are very important to have the two.
And we're super duper excited to stay up to date with everything going on with any new products that are coming from Famoré. Make sure you're signing up for our newsletter so you can get those updates live and automatic the second they come out, which is super duper fun. And Tracy has a question. What's up, Tracy?
So Judy asked on YouTube, how do you change the rotary cutter to the left hand?
Aha!
Ah.
And we were going to get to that.
Okay.
So what makes this style great? So right-handed, left-handed, right-handed, left-handed. You don't have to switch the blades.
That's awesome.
Now, with the trigger style, you do have to switch the blades.
Right.
And the trigger style, when it does come out, you will have to switch the blades. But this is a competitor's. You won't have all this to deal with. And you won't have, is this upside, right side? Does this go on this side or this side? No, it's just going to be the two pieces. So all you're going to have to do is take the blade from the right position to the left position to use in the left hand.
Yes, and we are super excited. We cannot wait to see it. We can't tell them too much.
Oh,
No, we are super duper excited. Again, make sure you're signed up for our newsletter so you can stay up to date with all the new things that are coming out at Linda's for 2025. That's exciting. Okay, you have a few more products on the table here that I'd like to talk about. A few of the scissors that we have of yours and kind of what makes them different, what makes them special, what makes them unique, and why they should buy all things Famoré. So let's get those over here.
So this.
Cool. So this one, let's go.
All right, so this scissor, this is the micro tip. I only have one tattoo on my entire body, and it's this scissor right here.
All right.
That when I developed this, appliquing was really coming into play on a big level. And applique scissors were all over the board, and they were expensive.
Yeah.
And it was just like, why do they have to be so expensive? You just threw that piece of fabric.
Oh, did you need that?
Yeah,
I'm
it's okay.
sorry. My
It's okay.
bad.
So I wanted to
I'll grab it
create
for
a pair of scissors that you could get into really, really fine points, corners, and actually cut, right? So you can see those tips. Those tips are like little needles. And so if you were wanting to cut this out, I mean,
right over here real quick. There you go.
Mr. Perfectionist here.
Yes, that's me.
But those tips cut right. It's
right there on that piece.
right there on that piece. So if you were wanting to cut that out, I mean, the tip cuts and it doesn't snag. Go ahead and cut with it.
I will.
So
these are the 4-inch straight micro tip tweezers. These are the large ones available on our website.
a scissor that doesn't cut all the way to the tip is just a piece of steel.
Wow. Exactly to where I need it to be. That's incredible. I don't think I've ever used this one, to be honest with you. I always use the curved ones. I know this is terrible. Shame. I know. Because I do a lot of reverse applique on my long arm, and this is, where have I been? What's going on?
This right here. So if anybody does any in the hoop or any applique where you want total control, right? I absolutely love this because you've got the offset handle. So your hands are out of the way. And you can just, so if you're cutting this out, that blade stays completely flat. Look at that. You see there? So it doesn't come up.
And then, Brent, can you demonstrate the 4-inch ones again? We have some folks wanting to get a better view of it, so I'm going to get a good zoom in. So I will move you to right there.
Okay. So if, say like you were wanting just to cut right into here, right? And a lot of sewers will use this as a buttonhole scissor because they'll use it for cutting inside. So if you were wanting to cut right down, so we're going to cut this out here. See, it doesn't snag. So you get right into those real tight corners.
It's incredible. Beautiful. That's awesome.
And again, it just doesn't snag. So if you're using it for your embroidery, quilting, appliquing, like I said, I've got sewing teachers that use this as a buttonhole scissor for a lot of things.
Alrighty. So let's talk about the curved ones.
So the curved scissor, what's great about a curved scissor? You just want something that you can go in, snip your threads without snagging or jabbing your project, right, or damaging the head of it. That and that's where these come into play. So if you're wanting just to snip that thread, you come in, you snip it. You don't have to worry about snagging that quilt top. So a curved scissor is really always nice to have for your trimming of your threads.
So you've got trimming of your threads. You've got up close work.
So I I don't know if people remember quilting or crafting with Marie Osmond.
Oh, yes, yeah.
So we were Marie's manufacturer for her scissors, and she used to call this her fussy cut scissors.
Oh, okay.
And Simplicity called these their jackpot scissor. But it's been known for a few different things.
Okay. So, and then remind me again, we kind of stopped in the middle of this to re-show these. So talk about one more time
So
the benefit of those flat.
Any of you out there that do in the hoop applique, this is absolutely phenomenal for cutting out those appliques. You've got complete control. That blade sits completely flat. You don't have that duckbill, and you know what's the purpose of that duckbill? For protection. So unless you know you're experienced, you always want to use a duckbill, and we've got all kinds of different sizes of the duckbills. But for in the hoop applique, this thing is amazing.
Fantastic. Awesome. Well, I want to thank you so much for being here with us today. We really, really appreciate it. It's amazing you were in town that we could do this.
Right.
So,
you know, I came into town I actually came here to spend it with our godson, who was absolutely amazing. So it was perfect timing. And like you said, this full circle has been amazing. And folks, I can't tell you, the best is yet to come. Just wait. Stay tuned and wait.
All the fun jazz.
You know, you have so many amazing products, you know, that you've developed over the years, and I cannot wait to be carrying a lot of those exclusively on our website for the consumer. I can't wait to. We've had, you know, 5, 10 here, you know, here and there once in a while. And you have so much stuff, and you have put so much passion in developing these products. Before we end, I want you to tell them a little bit about the history and why you put so much passion. I think it's important to know that you've put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this industry, and I don't think that gets recognized enough.
But you know, Diana, what makes a difference between a great quilt and a average quilt?
What's the person?
Passion.
Love and passion. Yeah.
Right. That what makes a great pair of scissors from an ordinary pair of scissors? The passion, understanding every aspect of what you're doing and why you're doing it, and the purpose you're doing it for. This isn't, to me, this isn't a job. This is my hobby. And my grandfather told me a long time ago, whenever you find what you love to do, make it your hobby. Don't make it your work, because nobody loves their job. Everybody loves their hobby. Exactly. Right. And this is in my blood. Scissor making, tool making is my passion. What you do for quilts is what I do for scissors. Yeah. And being able to team up with a brand that has that same level of compassion for their consumer is what ignites me. This was a God gift. I didn't realize I had this ability, but I'm thankful to him that I do have it.
Well, we are so thankful to be a part of your journey, as you've been a part of our journey at Linda's all these years, and we've been blessed to know you and cannot wait to continue the journey. So amazing.
And folks, the best is yet to come.
It really is. It really is. All right, Corey, let's take it away.
Let's take it away. All righty. Well, thank you all so much for being here with us today for our 11 a.m. session of Stream and Shop. We'll be back at 3 p.m. in the store as we get up close and personal with fabrics. I want to double check. Let's see if there are any other additional questions that I've got here. Brent, everyone loves Brent here in the comments. Let's see. For the batting pre-order.
As they should.
But it's easy when you're surrounded by great people. You know, people always say it's easy to be me when you've got people like this, you know, every time you turn around.
We do have one question from Savannah for the batting pre-order. Are we going to offer anything different from rolls for the deluxe cotton, or are we going to go to packages, or are we just looking at rolls right now?
We're going to start off just with rolls, and then eventually down the road we will do packages. But we just rolls at this point. But it's such a good price and such a good product. You're going to use all of it. You're going to want the roll.
And then I've got a question from Glenna that says, Brent, do you offer a micro scissor so that the cotton doesn't ravel when cutting collage pieces?
So we can corrugate, serrate, however you want to say it, any scissor that we have. Okay. It's part of our services that we offer. So if you go to our website, any scissor that you see on the website, you can, when you order it, you can order it corrugated or serrated, and absolutely.
That's awesome.
And
That's really
we can
cool.
talk about that next time. What makes the difference between a serrated scissor and a non-serrated
Yes.
scissors?
There's so much knowledge up here. We're gonna just save it for later. We'll save some more. We'll have so many different videos, podcasts.
We definitely
What to know
will.
with Brent.
And then last question that we have from Terry, it says, cannot find the last 2 scissors that you shared. I'm going to throw up the QR code right now. If you click on this QR code or you scan it, it will take you directly to the Famoré collection on our website. That's going to have everything that we've talked about today outside of those new items that are
And there's
coming.
going to be a lot more going to be added here very, very
Yes.
soon.
Yes.
So if you don't see your favorite scissor there yet, just
It's
hang
coming.
tight. It's coming.
It's definitely going to be there. All right. Thank you all so much for being with us here at Stream and Shop. Brent, thank you so much for being with us.
Happy holidays,
really
everybody.
Appreciate it. And we will see you all at 3 p.m. Central as we look at our next Stream and Shop. Bye.